for Paradigm Education Academy of Creative Enlightenment. And so the short form, the AKA, is Peace School. Keep it simple. And the current education systems, this whole idea of Peace School came out of a vision I had in grade 1 when I entered school. And I could see that there were some elements missing within the education system. We are creative beings. We're born creative beings. We're born into nature. We're connected with nature. And the system that has been designed for us has come out of the industrial age and out of the wars and wartime, where it was created from a militant perspective in orchestrating and training people to be either military or industrial and work in the industrial age. So all of the real creative elements over time have been completely, or not completely, but have been squashed. Those creative elements like music and art, dance, those things that are natural to us and very much a part of our nature, like in music, right from the heartbeat, is the most important thing, is the rhythm of the heart and keeping in a proper rhythm so that we can function. Our brain, it helps to pump oxygen to our brain so we can think and use the capacity of our brain. And I believe, and I am certain that each one of us has an inner genius. We all have something special within us that each one of us brings. It's like the flowers in your garden. We all have the seed. We come from a seed that contains all the great things that can grow out of it. So that is what needs to be nurtured in schools. That creative part of us that is within needs to be brought out. It's not so much about pushing things into us, into our heads, things that we don't need. We have an innate sense of wonder, a curiosity, a desire to explore, to see beauty. You think of when you were a child and the first time you ever saw a bumblebee and you wondered, what is that? And you wanted to follow it around and find out everything about it. Well, there's so much about a bumblebee that you can learn about life that helps to connect you with all these other parts of nature. We live in a world where we are all interdependent on nature and all life forms. We are connected. We need the trees for the oxygen that feeds our brain. Water, another element that is most important to us and has so many magical properties and healing properties that we've lost sight of. And we've been destroying our water. We've abused it. Trees that we have that we've been cutting down and chopping down without recognizing that is our our air that we breathe. Carbon need us for that. We need them for the part of that ecosystem that helps to grow and become the magical beings that we potentiality and develop. Sorry, where did you lose me?
I got right up to the tree part, just about.
Just about the tree part? Okay, so I'll continue on with the tree part.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That was so beautiful, though. I love it.
Oh, good.
Entering my own sense right here. Okay, use it again. So yeah, if you'd like to. So do you know if that's saved the recording? Where do I even find that?
Just hit the record button.
It says it's still going.
Oh, it's still going?
Yeah.
Hit it again just in case.
and resume.
Oh, there, it's now recording. Now it's recording. I see the button.
All right, go ahead whenever you're.
Oh, you froze. Okay. If you freeze, I'll shut up and I'll wait until you unfreeze, okay?
Okay, what I might try, I'm gonna go ahead and stop my video too, because I think the Wi-Fi here is just, yeah, public Wi-Fi.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll
Yeah, stop your video.
do myself and then
Yeah.
we can talk about it.
That sounds good.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. Okay. So, where I was at, I was talking about how trees are so important to us because they provide us many things in life. Water, of course, is important to the trees. They can't survive without it. Nothing on this planet can survive without water. The trees provide us with our air that we breathe so that we can function and live on this planet. We provide them with carbon dioxide, which they need to survive as well, along with the water and other minerals. They also provide us with the food that we need to eat, fruits, plants provide us with vegetables and things of that nature. And there are herbs and medicinal properties in trees that help us with healing if there's any ailments, as well as they provide us shelter. So we depend on them. And all of the creatures and animals that are around them also provide something to them that they need. And so that you see this wonderful ecosystem, this wonderful network where we need to work together, and we need to work in peace and in harmony together in order to flourish and grow to the fullest potentiality and create this world the way it was intended to be, which is a magical and beautiful, wonderful place where we can explore and learn so much about life and about the universe, about our origins, where we come from, who we really are, and what all of this is for. What is this wonderful, wonderful creation called life? It's a gift. And we need to approach teaching and learning from that perspective that we are creative beings and we need to learn about it creatively.
Wonderful. And if you wouldn't mind answering one more question, just short and sweet. How do you feel about standardized testing? And how do you
What do I feel about what?
Standardized testing? I know in my state, so Florida, we have a very strong comprehensive assessment test called FCAT. So those sorts of tests, really structured and demanding for the students. What does that do to them?
What I feel about testing is that you don't learn much from it. The end result of what you learn from it is that there are some students who can memorize things really well, and there's others who can't. There are some who are absolutely brilliant but have difficulty expressing themselves through that kind of medium. The best way to learn about and assess a student is through their presentation of what it is they have gleaned and all they have learned. There are a number of tools that you can use for that, but testing is the least accurate of all those tools in getting a correct response as to what a student has learned. I am against testing. From that perspective, the standardized.
Me too. I've taken too many of them. No, and I just get really terrible test anxiety. It's like a real thing.
A lot of people do.
Up and I can't think for anything, and all the hours and days I spent studying, it's not there.
I've always done mostly I've done fairly well on tests, but when I got to college, it became a little bit different. But I learned how to hypnotize myself. I learned self-hypnosis. So I would do self-hypnosis when I was studying. And I would tell myself before I was putting myself under that I would remember 100% of everything I saw, everything I heard about a subject, everything I read at the time that it was needed when the question was asked. And then I would go through my books, all my notes. I just go page by page through the paper, basically, like photographic memory. While I was under, I had a post-hypnotic state. And then I go to bed. I'd get up and go in and write the exam, and I'd look at the questions, and all of a sudden I would see the whole page, the page number, everything that was on it, or I'd see the professor speaking and exactly what they said, and I would write everything down that I saw in my mind's eye. I put myself under just before I started the test again. And then I wrote them. I wrote I got 100% on every single exam I wrote in college. I was deemed the top student in all of the college and university in English. Nobody gets 100% in English. I had 100% in English. I had 100% in psychology. And I finished the 2-hour exam in 15 minutes. I got up and walked out, and everybody thought I was as distressed as they were because most of them didn't finish the exam. They thought I was upset.
So you left early.
I left after 15 minutes.
That is something. Had you learned about that before? Or you just had this intuitive doing?
Well, I had learned it because I used to be a smoker.
What was it?
I was a smoker.
Okay.
I started when I was 7.
Wow.
7.
That's young.
Disgusting. Yeah. Well, when I was 21, I had bronchitis after bronchitis after bronchitis. Long story, but I'll make it short. Went to the doctors, and he said, "Listen, lady, you've got to quit smoking." He said, "If you don't quit, you're going to die in 5 years, the way your lungs are." And he said, I said, well, I was being cocky, and I just said, well, the only way I'm going to quit is hypnosis. I was joking. He left the office. He came back with about 10, 15 minutes later with a piece of paper with an address on it, doctor's name, and the date, my birthday. He said, "Here's your appointment with a hypnotherapist. Be there." I went, and I asked him after if he would throw in a post-hypnotic suggestion that before I went into it, I said, "Can you tell me how to hypnotize myself? Can you give me that post-hypnotic suggestion that I can do it so I can continue in case I was thinking most for the smoking, in case I start to fall off the wagon." So he did. He added in this whole thing of how to do post-hypnotic, how to hypnotize myself. I quit smoking immediately. I was completely done, and I quit like for 6 years. And then I went, it was 4 years the first time, and then I went back. He had a thing where it was guaranteed I could go back. I went back 4 years later because I was going through a traumatic situation, and stupidly somebody offered me a cigarette, and I thought, what the heck, and it was stupid. And then I started right back. So I went to him right away, and I'd quit. It was fine. It worked. Amazing stuff. But I hadn't used that post-hypnotic thing for a while either. Right after that in college.
That is one of the more interesting stories I've heard.
Yeah. Anyway, those are one ways to get over your anxiety. Meditation is also very good. Meditate before you study. And another thing is play classical music in the background. Not rock music, not heavy metal or anything like that, or rap. Nothing with words. Play some really gentle classical music in the background because it has the right proper frequencies. Certain frequencies that they don't have now. Yeah. So what was I saying? I was saying about the frequencies of the music in classical music has the right megahertz frequency that is not